Nice. You're thinking about making a move to Tierra Verde. Awesome. You're definitely going to want to check out this video. I'm going to tell you the pros and the cons, the good and the bad of Tierra Verde and why it is such a great place to live. Or maybe you'll decide, hey, that's not really what I want. I'd rather live in St. Pete, or I'd rather live in Sarasota or Tampa. Hopefully this video will give you some clarity. So let's check it out. As always, subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications. Whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, give me that call, shoot me that text, or send me that email so you can be the very first one to know about the Tampa Bay market. I can't wait to hear from you. I'd love to answer any questions you have. Pop a comment in the comment section if you have any questions, and I'll be sure to get back with you. Let's get right to it. So one of the best pros for the area is some of the amazing properties with waterfront views. As this featured home behind me here, this is based at 2.9 million. It's a 4.6, has the circle driveway. Most of the properties in this area do have a waterfront view. There's so many pluses. So if you're wanting that larger waterfront estate home, this is a great area for you. And if you are looking in that $14 million range, I would absolutely love to help you. And one thing that's really important to me is giving back. So no charities are getting a kickback or anything, but just something I like to do personally. I'm really big on helping the anti-trafficking movement. So if you do make one of those larger purchases, I'll take a little bit of my commission check and I'm going to give to the local anti-trafficking movement because I feel like that is such an important issue. So help me to give back to the area. That's one thing that separates me, because I feel like you don't need to just be a part of the community. We need to help it and make the community better. So giving that give back is always so important to me. So that's one thing I always like to do. But yeah, you'll find all kinds of great views like this. And listen, do you hear that? No, you don't hear anything, because it is very private here. So if you want that tranquil, peaceful area, this is for you. And you're not far from a lot of the sites. Downtown St. Pete is only about 10 miles away. Of course, you have the beach for Fort DeSoto. St. Pete Beach is only about 4 miles away. Paso Grill is about 4 miles away. And you can easily get to Johns Pass, Madeira, Reddington, all of those beaches very easily. As far as some of the other major cities, Tampa, the Tampa airport is going to be about 25-30 miles away. It's going to be 30 miles to get to downtown Tampa, and it's about 35 miles to Sarasota. So you're really in the middle of all of this. So that's great because you can easily get to any restaurants, any entertainment options. So you have all of that, and you really have the best of both worlds, because you have the quiet neighborhoods, and also because it's so peaceful here and everything is so well maintained. It is deed restricted, so you're going to have a homeowners association that keeps it up, and they keep everything looking so nice. And they also have a very low crime rate in this area, so that's also very important. So whether you have a family or you're retired, I know that security is always on the top of people's list. So this is a fabulous area for you because security is paramount, and of course it is that boater's paradise, so that's also a plus. Now, if you love the hustle and bustle of downtown St. Pete, I know that can be a lot of fun. You love the culture, you love the arts, or maybe you're a sports person and you want to get into games really quickly. You can definitely do that here, but maybe that's a little bit of a con for you because you want it to be busier. So if you're wanting that faster pace of life, then Tierra Verde might not be for you. You might want to check out some of the other areas because you're not going to have that fast pace unless you just cram pack your schedule. But the pace of life here is slower. It is hot, very hot here in the summer, but it has absolutely gorgeous weather at the end of the fall and in the winter, and you get a cool breeze sometimes being right off that water. Of course, it is that birders paradise, and of course having all the beaches. So if you are a sun lover, this is for you, and you just love that beach culture and just want to chill at the beach or at the pool, then this is a perfect location for you. So the population for Tierra Verde is only about 3,600 people, but you are right outside St. Pete. So if you do want that larger city feel, you are right there. But if you want that area where everyone seems to know their neighbors, then this is a place for you. Even just coming out here to film, multiple neighbors have popped out just to say hello. So they've all been super nice, super friendly. So that to me is a great plus. If you like knowing your neighbors, knowing who's in the area, that's just really nice because they've all been so friendly and will pop out and say hello. I know that's not the case in all neighborhoods, so that's always a nice plus when you can know people that live in your neighborhood. So if you want that nice community vibe, this is a great place. So another pro will be if you love that luxury lifestyle, because let's face it, it is about the cars, the type of houses, the type of schools your kids go to, the access to a private airport. St. Pete has a private airport, so you can fly in and out of that if you don't want to mess with going into Tampa airport. So that's always a plus for some people. So if you're looking for that luxury lifestyle, especially that's on the water, Tierra Verde should be at the top of your list. If you want to pay a little less, then maybe look so one of the other areas, because the cost of living here is a little bit higher when you consider the price of homes, the property taxes, all of those things do play a factor in such a nice area like this. But like I said, being at the waterfront, that's always such a plus, so that draws people in. Now, of course, being by the water, hurricanes during hurricane season are always a factor. So I can never say 100% you won't get hit there. It's always a possibility every hurricane season. But thankfully, Tierra Verde has never had a direct hit like that. So that's always a plus. Hurricane season runs from the beginning of June until the end of September, beginning of October, depending on the year. They have had some close calls, but lately they've been spinning either down a couple hours south, or they'll spin out over into Panama City area, and that's where the hurricanes have really been hitting. So Tierra Verde and St. Pete have been very fortunate as to not take a direct hit. I believe the last time St. Pete was hit was almost 100 years ago, and it was still not as bad as some of the other hurricanes for some of the other areas. So St. Pete and Tierra Verde have just been very, very fortunate as far as that goes, but you will always want to keep that in mind. Another pro is there aren't as many open lakes here, but you do have the water, so you don't have to worry about the threat of like alligators and things like that as much here. But again, keep that in mind. If you do have access to that private lake, just keep in mind there can be alligators there, so always keep safety in mind because that's always paramount. Now, one of the other pros for Tierra Verde that's, to me, is fabulous is there's so much to do outside. So whether you like to bike, whether you like to kayak, there is something for you to do here. There's perfect places for you to launch your kayak down at Fort DeSoto or some of the local beach areas. And then check this out. This is the paved bike tour, and they actually have it separated here for the bike lanes and jogging lanes compared to the regular traffic for the road. So that is perfect. I know for me, I do like to cycle when I can, but sometimes, let's be honest, cars don't like to share the road, which can make it sometimes dangerous for cyclists. So in Tierra Verde, they actually have a lot of that lanes protected, which is awesome because it keeps both the cars away from the cyclists and the cyclists and joggers safe from the cars. So that is a perfect thing for me and anyone that likes to bike. And it does connect all the way down to the Fort DeSoto area, and you can hop on to the Pinellas Trail as well, which you can take into St. Pete. So you can bike all over Tierra Verde. Now, St. Pete doesn't have as much of the biker lanes like that, so that is a definite plus for Tierra Verde. And of course, right across over here, we do have that marina. So you have a perfect place to store your boat, being that it is the boater's paradise. So those are some of the key highlights here. Now, for education, you have some interesting opportunities within Tierra Verde. So right on the border of Tierra Verde and St. Pete, it's actually in the St. Pete side, you do have Eckerd College. So high school students can take some classes down at Eckerd College, so that's always an option for you. So you would definitely want to check that out. Also, they have some arts programs and things, so definitely some community programs. So that's something you'll want to check out as well. So that really wraps up all of the main points for here, but it's fabulous. It's very picturesque. The weather can be very hot. So those are just some of the key points for it. But you do have access to all the things with St. Pete and Tampa right there at your fingertips, as well as dipping down to Bradenton and Sarasota. You have a couple of different routes for the bridges, so you can pop down to Sarasota very quickly. There is a toll road that takes you right down there. So you have easy access to so many different things. Now, the con is this area is more expensive. So you're going to see prices starting for the condos in the $450-500 range. For single family homes, it starts in the $1 to $2 million price, and it bumps up. On the high end, you had that $14 to $15 million properties. So it is more expensive. Now, luckily, unlike some other states, there are no mansion taxes. So that is always a plus. Also, Florida, a lot of people are drawn to it because it is a no state income tax area. So that's always fabulous when you don't have to pay taxes. I mean, I know I don't like to pay extra taxes. I'm sure you don't either. So that's always good when you can skip the state income tax. So that's definitely a plus. Now, one of the cons is going to be there are some things that you would need in the area that are going to be a little bit higher. Maybe the state's making up for that no state income tax in a different way. So one of those is going to be car insurance. Your car insurance is going to be higher here in Florida. For some reason, I don't know if it's the tourist or what. We love having them here, but especially when it's crowded in the summer, there's just a lot of accidents sometimes. And so because of that, there's this higher cost for car insurance. I have not had any accidents, any tickets, thankfully, and my car insurance was definitely higher than a previous state I had lived before. Also, going down the insurance route, a negative is a lot of the waterfront homes, you're going to need flood insurance, and that has gotten substantially more expensive. So you'll have to keep in mind for that you will need flood insurance on most of these properties. And like I said, that's gone up. And then homeowners insurance. Homeowners insurance has become a hot button issue here in Florida. That's because a lot of home insurance, because of the risk of hurricanes or different reasons, have pulled out. So there's limited choices now for homeowners insurance. One of the major ones is Citizens. It holds a lot of policies, so you'll need to check to see if the insurance company you have is even in Florida, because a lot of them have pulled out of Florida. Now, there are still definitely insurance companies, so you are going to be able to get homeowners insurance, but just remember that you are going to pay a premium for homeowners insurance compared to some other states. One key issue to look at for homeowners insurance is roofing. That's going to be an issue. They don't want to see roofing. Now, a few years ago, there was issues with roofing fraud and things like that. And so they don't want to see roofs over 10 years old. So if your roof is older, that's something you want to negotiate in the contract, or maybe offer a little bit lower of a price because of that, because you know that you're going to have to replace that roof if it's over 10 years old to get the best price possible. And if you're in one of those areas where a hurricane could happen, it's always good to have some insurance as far as on the roof, like get hurricane clips or things like that. Anything you can do to lower that bill is always a plus. So, of course, everyone that has kids wants to know about schools. So here's the deal. Tierra Verde does have a lot of retirees, so there's not as many school options. Of course, there's always families, right? So a lot of them, because of the price points here, will go to private schools. So that's something to keep in mind. And then if you're talking public schools, now this is not my opinion. This is on niche.com. GradeMySchool.com, I believe, is another one. And so the public schools here for the Tierra Verde area are going to be rated a B to B minus. So it's not the top tier, it's not A plus, but it's not horrible. So that's something to keep in mind. But I think that's just because there seems to be less kids here, or a lot of them do go to private school. So that is something to keep in mind. Now, if you are going to public school, you can see about maybe going out of district. There might be a fee for that. But if you do want that A+ school, it's not in Tierra Verde, so you'll have to go somewhere else. So keep that in mind if you have kids. And like I said, they do have private school options in the area, so that's something that they always is available to you. All right, another key factor is going to be that it does have a lot of local restaurants and things. There's not as many chains in Tierra Verde, but if you do want some of that, you can just hop over to St. Pete or one of the other major cities and go to those chains, but it does have that really local feel. But a lot of people like that. Even some of the hotels like the Marriott, they have a rooftop bar, so you can enjoy a drink or a dinner at the top of the rooftop bar, and a lot of people love to do that. It's a perfect place to go and watch the sunset, and even fireworks during 4th of July or big events like that. So you'll definitely want to keep that in mind. All right, well, that wraps up all the pros and the cons for Tierra Verde. So if boating, if the outdoor activities, if the luxury lifestyle, the amazing waterfront homes is what you're looking for, then you'll definitely want to check it out. If you want something that's in between Tampa and Sarasota, Tierra Verde is a great spot. If you want more of the hustle and bustle of downtown St. Pete, then maybe you need to check out a different area. But if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. As always, feel free to ask me any questions. My name is Alyssa. I'm one of the top relocation teams here in the St. Pete, Tampa Bay area. I know that moving can be a little chaotic, but if you give me a call, shoot me that text, or send me that email, I can help you make that smooth move to Tierra Verde and the Tampa Bay area. Welcome home. You're gonna love living in Tierra Verde and the Tampa area.